welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the ESL Pro League. We just saw Na'Vi and G2 go at it, and before we move on with the rest of the Pro League, I'd like to mention how you can start your own professional career. The Mountain Dew League is giving amateurs a direct path into the ESL Pro League. Quite easy to find out how. All you have to do is head over to esca.net/MDL for more information. Up next, we have Virtus.pro, the CSGO legends turned part-time footballers up against the Danish team Heroic. They'll be playing on Nuke and then on Train, a map that Heroic member Valde has said his team needs a little bit more practice on. Thankfully, Rush has put together a quick tip to help them on their game.
Hey Future Pros, all aboard as we are back on Train with another flash. This one is for Pop Dog and should blind or push any CTs away from the area. First step is to wiggle yourself into this corner, then crouch down and aim along this vent. Use mouse 2 on your RGB high DPI gaming mouse, and whoever is playing inside of Pop will not be having a good time.
The memeing is increasing daily with these pro tip videos, but either way, Pop Flashdown ladder is an important one to know.
Yeah, high DPI gaming mouse.
It's a bit much. It's a bit much from Rush. Either way, we have Virtus.pro taking on Heroic now. So pretty cool matchup coming into play. This was the matchup that got Virtus.pro eliminated from playing in front of their home crowd in Katowice.
You know something that was really intriguing with that match? Heroic, none of the players on that squad had a positive rating when they won that game.
Really?
Yeah.
You don't see that too often.
The other thing about Heroic is they actually topped the group in the Swiss format with a negative round total.
Yeah, so what that, I guess that translates to they just ground out wins, right? Like they played good team Counter-Strike.
Or lost big.
I suppose, but if they topped the group, Jason, you'd assume that they had to play some.
Well, the matches that they did lose.
No, Jason's right. If they are negative despite having a winning record, it means they lost bigger than they won.
But what about in the game specifically that I'm talking about on Nuke that references this matchup between these two teams?
Correct. Go on.
Precisely. So that means that they won the crucial rounds and were able to reset and stuff, whereas VP maybe just like absolutely punished them when they were eco and that kind of stuff to buff up their scoreline. But something that I really appreciate with Virtus.pro and why I think I'll be a Virtus.pro fan forever is the nuances and the little adjustments they make to their game.
It's because they're the only team that's going to be around forever.
Yes. That is true. I have a little clip here of just something very, very small, and it just shows that they do their homework and they study their opponents. I've actually highlighted this one before, but this is from a more recent match. And they know that Draken plays the left side of Warehouse with the AWP, and he only spots a very tight line. So they boost in these boxes, they jump on over, and they get close to Mini or Anix or whatever you want to call it. He has no idea that they're there. They're able to walk into Anix and kill a player who is expecting Draken to be covering that section of the map or relying on sound cues and get a frag before anything even happens. It's just those little tweaks. You know, it's not really a strategy. It's more like a move or a play that's able to get them into rounds. It's great to see.
Well, also shows instead of necessarily looking into overarching strategies of the matchup, they're looking into the different ways that individuals play and how to attack that area, which is pretty cool as well.
Yeah.
Either way, now, I mean, we saw this go Heroic's way on Nuke at Katowice, but here, I mean, is this going to be, I mean, how can you even kind of talk about where this match is going to go, considering that it's not only online. We've seen Virtus.pro have very good matches in this league. We've seen them have very poor matches in this league. We've seen them very much up and down. I mean, are Heroic actually, do they have a shot at taking this?
I think VP would have to still be the favorites, even though they did lose it on LAN, right? But you'd say VP are the better team. They're the more well-rounded team. It just depends on the version of VP that we're going to get, because we do see so many different iterations of them. It seems like maybe if one of them wakes up and he woke up on the wrong side of the bed, they might have a bad day.
It just feels like we have that conversation pretty much every night with Virtus.pro. There's really no other way to take it, because you don't know what product they're going to come in with this kind of an online game.
I don't know how to quantify it or explain it to anybody, right? It's not something we can really analyze or put a finger on as people who watch these matches. They're probably one of the most exciting Counter-Strike teams with very well-balanced players. Anyone can step up at any point in time and carry the squad or have impact rounds, have clutches, have amazing aces. These guys can do it all. The thing is, they don't seem to do it on a consistent basis in the online league more so than LAN. But maybe that would also, maybe they have something to prove here. They want to beat Heroic, who kicked them out of their home tournament.
Well, let's do this as well, because we can talk a lot about Heroic, because obviously this is a team that's considered to be the third best in Denmark, which is a very, very strong region, obviously, at the moment in Counter-Strike.
Yep.
But they have Valdi, very compelling young player coming up, supposed to be one of the next big stars, not only in Denmark, but in Counter-Strike as a whole. They've got Snappy, who's a very underrated and well-respected in-game leader for them. Denmark seems to be pumping out in-game leaders at an intense
So the only country in the world right now that's doing that?
Yeah, I mean, they really have a grasp on that kind of in-game leadership.
The other thing as well that goes a little bit beyond that too is, and a player you didn't mention and hasn't been getting enough mention is Nico. And I know that Henry's brought it up a few times. They've mentioned on that team they expect him to be one of the best stoppers in the world. They think he's got incredible skill. He's got a high ceiling. He just hasn't hit it yet, and he's got potential he's still building upon. They say in practice or just when he's messing around and there's no pressure, he hits everything, and he's annoying to just even warm up against. But as soon as you get into a game situation, he's still not developing, whether it's tactically or making decisions on when to take duels. He's just still developing that finer part of his game.
Just kind of leaning on that potential at the moment, maybe for her.
Yeah, which is a problem. I mean, potential that's not acted upon is essentially nothing. It's just there.
I mean, it's the same with Valdi though as well, right? Like this is a guy that we've seen take over games. Just once he continues to get experience, it's just going to be happening more and more. So I mean, it is kind of that is kind of what makes him the third place team, is developing these players that are going. It's going well so far for him.
Yeah, and I guess to be the third rank in Denmark can be a scary thing. We were talking about these guys being the farming team, but it seems like all three of these teams have kind of settled now, where their lineups are, and everybody seems to be relatively happy. I think the thing with the Heroic team specifically is Snappy and Modi have so much experience. They've been playing Counter-Strike for a very long time. Valdi's that kind of middle guy. He's been playing at the higher level just a little bit before Nico and Yugi. The development period that we're going to see out of these guys, whether they do what they did last year and they don't take the player break off and they just go hard and come out of that player break, ready to go, whereas everyone else is a bit sluggish off the start, that could kickstart them to have another good end of the year like we saw from them in 2016.
This on Nuke, you can almost say that this is both teams' kind of best map, couldn't you? I mean, Heroic, this is a map they've shown very, very good proficiency on, a little bit underrated in a sense.
Yeah, but VP hasn't won like a CT round all year in Pro League.
In Pro League,
Did we investigate that statistic?
We need to investigate
In Pro League, they haven't done fantastic on Nuke, but in ECS, just the other day, they did pummel NIP, who we would consider another relatively decent Nuke team. So whether they've turned that around or...
Relatively decent in their own relative terms.
Yes.
For NIP. My point being, I don't know if we can call them a decent team right now.
God bless it.
It's not bad.
I like it. You're back on the desk. This is when we have some fun with Matt.
It's true, actually.
We have to force the fun.
I didn't bring a button-up shirt today, so I thought
Henry's
if I was going to look like a
bringer.
mess, I'd just go full mess today. This is my Chad cosplay.
That's normally what I look like when I'm trying to look good, so you've nailed it.
Thank you. I thought I would do my best. It's because we're going to Sydney in just under 10 days, I think, at this point.
Who's counting? Not me.
Yeah.
I am. Because I have
excited?
I have Canadians down there I'm going to go hang out with. And apparently you're going to jump out of a plane.
Yeah, that's going to be fun. We talked about that a little bit earlier, but the plane jumping.
How many people did you book?
So far, we've got, I think, 5 locked in.
Okay, I'm going to book a plane that has only room for 4 parachutes, and I'm going to push you out first.
That's cool.
Grim? Grim as usual.
That's nice.
You're welcome.
Maybe we can look
so
at,
mates.
look at some recent Heroic Nuke results.
Okay.
They've only played it 3 times in recent history.
Yeah.
2 of those were in the Pro League. 1 was versus Australis and 1 was versus Mousesports. They lost to Australis and they beat Mousesports on it.
Yeah, Mousesports has lost this map every time except for once this year. I think they played it 5, they're 1-4.
I don't know. That doesn't really give us a lot to go on, right? Because we know that VP have absolutely dumpstered Australis on Nuke. And we know that Heroic just nudged VP out on Nuke. So it's not really, we can't really use that trickle logic.
No, you can't. And especially because Mousesports is, like if everyone's beating them, then it's not saying much.
Yeah, well, I think that's going to about do it. Thank you all for tuning into the Outside. It's been a lot of fun. And now back to Lauren and Mitch in the studio.
Thanks, Moses. We are live here out in the field. But no, you're right there, Mitch? You having a good time?
Yeah, it's always good to hear from the peanut gallery, but I mean, I have to say, credit to Matt. I don't think I could get my hair to look like that if I tried.
I can give it a good crack.
It's pretty. You want to give it a go?
Yeah.
Maybe later. Anyway, let's jump into this one here. Heroic VP, you've got a bit to say on this one, Lauren.
Yeah, just having a chat to a couple of people about this and how they rate Heroic coming to this and their thoughts towards it and a little bit of background information. Right now, actually, Heroic are, well, a couple of the players apparently are at boot camp at the moment, 3 at minimum, getting ready for the DreamHack tournament coming up not too far away. So these guys are, very mentally in it right now. You know what I mean? Like, they're in that boot camp mode, they're in that playing, for progress mode. They've had very good practice coming in towards this, not necessarily for this matchup, but eyes set towards DreamHack Austin. So that's the Horizon game for them. And just a little note. So speaking to a couple of Danish players, or a Danish player who's rated,
wonder who that would be.
Yeah, no, but he actually rated Heroic the best Danish team on Nuke.
Okay.
So, high praise. Whether or not we see it through here now is going to be a different factor. But eyes towards what they bring, because this should be Heroic in their very good form.
And keep an eye on VP as well. Lauren, we've been blessed with some lovely VP Nuke maps, but Taz has been consistently performing a little bit weaker than the rest of his team. 20% less rating than the average on his team over the last 10 games. So that's averaged out, but it's not been very good for him. We saw him even try the P90 on this map to no avail. But pistol round now going to be starting off here.
And a double Tech 9. Yugi and Valid both having Tech 9s. This is kind of unique. Flash for Modi, flash for Snappy, and off we go. This is a set piece. And so far it's not worked perfectly, but Yugi's there. Snacks finds Nico, and that's a problem. But the trades come in finally, beneficially towards Heroic. They've got 3 standing to the 2, and Neo is low. Yeah,
not a terrible spot still for him to be playing with that USP, but it needs to be in and out very quickly. Pasha, though, gets the better of Modi, catches him by surprise, and now it's going to be Yuki falling. Snappy had already absconded to the lower levels and gets a bomb plant, but he's got 2 VP players to get through.
Now, Neo does have a kit, and Snappy doesn't have armor, so all these things slowly add up together, but we'll see how he plays this one out. Playing from that kind of decon room. Now, Neo's the one towards the bomb. Very low HP on Neo, and Snappy's patience is being tested. Opens the door, now gives away the game. Spots that no one's on the bomb yet, but will he expect the kit as well? Now you can see Pasha trying to basically be the bodyguard of the door. Swings out, oh, Snappy! What a shot comes in! I don't think he even meant to hit the shot on towards Neo, but he does anyway. He gets one for free as the guy defusing, and Pasha here almost turned this round right into the hands of Virtus.pro.
Suffice to say, that did not at all go to plan. Pasha was hoping to, well, not only absorb the shots, but also be able to win that one out, but it cuts straight through. And with nothing but that pistol, we didn't even have armor, as you mentioned, Lauren, in that round. Snappy somehow wins things out. That's beautiful stuff for Heroic.
Yeah.
And an excellent start for them. And perhaps the nightmare maybe continuing for VP, although they did improve better in ECS, of course, earlier on this map, but still hasn't been great for them so far this season. Heroic headed to the outer side of the map here. Snack's hoping to challenge a little bit closer, but the smoke will be pushed.
Yeah, I'm wondering how prepared VP are for Heroic on this map. On a one-to-one basis, matching up probably wouldn't necessarily put them into the same category, even though really VP have suffered at the hands of Heroic quite consistently at the moment. And they seem to have done again. This is a good map for Heroic. I don't know how much you can read into what they're doing, how much maybe they've practiced against each other off, in unofficial games. But still, you've got to hope that VP are prepared for this. We said it already at the very start of this show. These games for Virtus.pro are their step to being possible to qualify towards getting to those offline finals, to get into those positions. They are very much on the lower end of that cutoff point. So again, very important games tonight.
Yeah. For both teams, as you said. Nico trying to get up close. He's very, very deep with that weapon, and VP pulled 2 pistol kills back in their favor, both of them from overextensions from Heroic. One was up towards the upper, VP managing just to sit back. It was Taz, of course, receiving him. And that one there from Nico not playing out too well at all. So, VP more than happy here just to let this one go to the keeper, as we say, back home. But they've got a scout. There's an AK also recovered there by Bialy. And I'll let this one tick away here. Don't really fancy going in for it. It was actually a very much a stood back sort of hold there for Virtus.pro. Didn't really even venture in towards the upper side. Back towards their spawn they played.
So all in all, from that round, not bad recovery from VP considering that they've got a nice little rifle for free there. I say for free, but you know what I mean. Now, Heroic still sitting on 2 rounds. Still sitting pretty at this point. Relatively unscathed. They did lose out on a little, but you can kind of just deal with it at this point. And I just want to see how strong this T side is from them. We've seen the VP, they are that kind of hot and cold team on occasion. You don't know who you're going to get. And at the moment it looks, I'm not going to say it's online VP yet. You don't know.
I just want Taz to rush roof again with the P90, Lauren. That will make me happy.
But you know what I dream of, and it is that. Well, it is that P90. It is just charging around the map in his hands. But so far, Heroic just going to be trailblazing their way down towards that lower side of things. You've got 4 players pretty much in that squad, just kind of barreling through, clearing out the corners, opening up the doors. And it looks as though they're taking control towards the control room. Very thorough, very well versed, and it's worked.
No warp in play for Virtus.pro, so can't really counter this out. And Snacks was playing quite passively closer towards Annex here. So they have to give outside control to Heroic. They have to be expecting at least that they're going to have a strong presence on the lower side here. But Modi's up here to catch rotations, or players like Snacks, who are forging further afield, maybe to try and go down secret on his own. Bialy finds a Yuki early on. The bomb is down there already, and there's no kits at all on Virtus.pro to work with, so they do need to be relatively expedient here. This might be another catch here. Snacks realizes he may have just messed things up, goes for another peek, and no, it's trying to back away. The grenade just scraped by him. Neo tries to go straight for the bomb there, maybe even a quick defuse, but there's no chance. Nico with the 2. And this is struggle city for Virtus.pro here. They let the bomb be planted very early in the round, brought no kits in, and that's the way it goes.
Pasha desperate to get something, and it will be Taz with the CZ, at least finding some ways to cause some sort of pain here. But For now, Heroic are fine, they keep 2 up. Pasha gets found by the bomb pretty much, but Heroic get the first 3. And I wouldn't say the cleanest, but, you know, a couple of bomb plants, they get what they need done. They retain good money. You can already see 6 cases going on Yugi, so that could be an AWP coming in pretty darn soon. And right about now would be the case. So he's straight up on the AWP, he's got the armor as well, so he's not kind of suffering in any aspect. VP can't get it done yet. They've gone for the rifles, they're fine on that, they've got a fair whack of utility, but no kits.
Yet again. So VP now probably need to be a little bit more proactive in this round, or at least less reluctant to meet Heroic out ahead and give them too much map control. It will be Pasha playing forward, of course, here in ramp room. Pretty standard opening here. The T side actually threw smokes towards outer. A bit of a VP style approach, actually. Continuing throwing smokes to outer, and then they're going to make their way through, perhaps even into ramp room themselves.
And I really like it. You set that precedent, don't you? You set that marker of, we've done this before, we're going to keep doing this, and of course they're not. But VP fell not necessarily hook, line, and sinker for it, but you can see where Bialy is, you can see where they're starting to tender towards, and now it does give a little bit of freedom. Now, Neo's got to be careful. He might have probably been spotted. He definitely has. Modi, quick on the trigger, going to find him, and then bursts in towards that upper site.
Modi tries to make things happen from rafters there with the UMP, but it's a little bit too tough for that particular weapon. And Snacks meets at a head. It's going to be Nico inside the hut. 2v3. Valde I'm going to deal with Bialy pretty comfortably here. Molotov thrown. Pasha's down in the vent. This is something we actually saw a lot from Happy. He will sit here and wait, knowing that, of course, it's a pretty comfortable pickup. If someone drops down, he's not on the ladder. His accuracy is not affected, but Snacks didn't have a chance to let a bullet fly. Now Pasha has to try and challenge himself. He comes straight up the ladder, finds Valde. The bomb is still ticking.
And they don't have a kit. No one on VP had a kit, so timing is going to be a huge factor. Now, Yugi doesn't know that, of course, and he's going to be playing up from Crows. Flash comes in.
It's time to duel, Yugi.
I can't believe you said that. And now, well, Yugi peeks back in for it. He's going to get the job completed for Heroic, and that's 4 now. Completing not just those first pistol rounds, converting them cleanly, but then following it into that first important gun round, keeping the money, I wouldn't say super low for VP. They still got the kills, they still did some damage. It wasn't, you know, that clean-cut round that I can imagine Heroic would be hoping for, but they get the job completed and, you know, in the bag. It's the safety done now. So for VP, it's can we recover the economy? Can we bring it back? Because we know how hard Nuke is to hold for a CT team without full utility, without all those Molotovs to slow things down. As good as Snacks and Bialy are at holding that, you know, towards Squeaky Door and playing off the back of that, it does get incredibly difficult, and that's certainly not going to make things any better this round.
Yeah, I mean, Pasha can't sit back in ramp room there with just the Deagle. At least he's not confident to do so. He wanted to push a little bit further forward and get something done. Modi finds Neo still lurking around the area, a little bit out in the open here. The one chance for VP, even it's a very slim one, is that Snacks has made his way towards the outside. Players like Shocks, you know, we see a lot of them really playing towards that red container and getting in people's faces. That might be an answer here for Virtus.pro if they're not willing to meet them in other areas of the map. That was Bialy, finds the frag, gets himself a Mac 10. Lower bomb side hit now will be in progress.
And it just seems so well played out, so far at least. You know, this could be unraveled, but look at it. Instantly spraying this away. Oh, that's a little unfortunate. Does manage to claim Modi en route, but is what it is. 2 players now remain for VP. Just Eagles, no upgraded armor either, so purely looking to just do a quick bit of damage, maybe get a gun away, maybe try and escape, but Yugi's having none of it. Showing he's just as good with that rifle, and an AWP's even been picked up, so he can be dropped that one out, swap it onto an over. Their money sits pretty, and now this is a test again. VP get another kind of go back at it, but they need to start getting on the board here. They need to start getting that round there, otherwise this could be one of those games that adds to that terrifying stat that they barely get rounds on this map.
Oh, that was the situation there. That was just Nico. A little bit too keen, maybe feeling that Modi would fall. We've actually seen multiple players killed in a collateral fashion, actually, in that part of the map already this game. But we've also talked about VP struggles on the CT side on this map in recent times, Lauren. I don't think the stat is quite 0 rounds won, but it's not been good.
And I wonder how much this is getting into the heads now of VP. You've seen, again, that line of smoke outside. Are they actually playing to it, or is this just another fake? It's very hard to tell here, and VP are the king of fakes themselves.
Yeah,
so
VP
it's a
do this every round.
Yeah, it's a little bit of right back at you. You know, if you can do it, we can do it. Let's see how well you'd handle this. I saw Molly on towards the top of putt, and it looks as though this could be possibly a hit towards upper, just seeing where Valde and Nico are, but they haven't fully committed yet. Yugi's still en route. This is still yet to be fully seen, but Taz is in an important position, and no one's really checking for it. They go in straight away for the trade. Valde faces towards Snacks, and it's Nico to find Taz in the end. Taz did minimal damage, but at least got 1.
Oh, their Passion now is going to burn pretty darn low. Went for the shot, he doesn't take it, and it just seems like VP. Whether it's by a matter of inches or miles, they're just not on song today so far. Well, the execution has not been stellar. Passion manages to find a shot there in from the warehouse and make his way in towards Mini, but again, at this stage, it's just trying to get some frags on the backside. He'd love to save an AWP, but it's not going to be the case. Modi swings in through from the right side and takes him down.
This is such a beautiful T side so far.
Right, so we have a few things in place, don't we, Lauren? We have
Yugi, yes. No, don't you dare drop that. Yes, Snappy. We're going to watch Snappy. We watch no one, but don't you dare. This is probably a misbuy that they're just kind of like giving to the port. We're gonna, Can we follow them this round? It's against Eagles. Just treat me right.
So we've got the SG here. No worries.
He's going for what I like to call the girl gamer gun.
Oh, I'm glad. I can't say these things. You can.
No, I can.
I'm happy to let you know.
Don't you worry.
Right.
Now Snacks could be the first victim of the girl gamer gun, as Nico seen his teammate go down. So I was hoping he'd be straight in there, somewhat like Swimmer, but he's not.
No. What was a P90 last time? This time SG. Nico try
I don't care if we missed the frags. I'm sorry, chat, and anyone watching this right now. I want to see the SG work, and so far, he is not being, you know, snazzy with it.
Let's make this more academic if we possibly can, for Nico's sake.
Someone misbought, and he's had to live with the choice. Don't do this to me. Yes, that's the angle I want to watch.
This observing is on point, by the way.
Nice.
They're catching all the kills and still showing us Nico. That's great. Okay. Getting serious, it's a 2v3. Time ticking down, less than 1 minute for Heroic to plant the bomb here. VP pressured heavily. Neo's got nothing but a pistol here, so Taz may well find Nico.
Don't ruin my fun,
the vestiges of smoke will fade away, but Taz is gone for a dive. The bomb is awfully slowly moving here. I'm not sure what Heroic are waiting for, but there Neo shows himself up in heaven. That might be the ghost signal. There it is. The SG gets involved. Quickly swapped out, rather sheepishly in fact, but still, Lauren is happy.
Team Secrets, COG Red, take notice. That was outstanding. I like it. I like it a lot. Now, sadly, he's gotten rid of that gun. Bit of an error. He somehow misplaced it and found I think it's an AK instead. Incorrect. Don't laugh, Mitch. I can hear you laugh. I don't appreciate it. Sexism. Neo on the AWP though. Let's get back to business because this is a buy round and I'm hoping there's a bit of a different pace. And what a shot from Yugi. That was an absolute stunner. Bialy's head goes rolling. And now VP left kind of just like, well, all right, this is gonna be painful. Here we go. Straight towards upper and then not miss around. Heroic switching up the pace when they want to. The 7 rounds up to the good and VP are left in tatters.
Yeah, not good. Neo with the AWP. It's an investment made in this round again, but Virtus.pro have not been able to find anything for their money. They're getting completely trumped in every aspect of the game. Pasha again, we've seen him in this position late round. It's just sort of where he sits, hoping for an exit or something. Didn't work out so well last time, and Neo's not going to have any entrance in through upper here. Just adds a smoke to the pile. All MCFCs. Chlorofluorocarbons. Lauren. We don't really have them anymore, but they're probably in smoke grenades. I don't think they really care about the environment. Anyway, Snappy pokes his head forward. He exposes himself for a little bit too long, and Pasha is in position to find him, but this round is done and dusted. Make no mistake, ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be Neo backing away in Heroic 8 rounds to 0 thus far. And for Virtus.pro, it's not a good look. Neo has not had a frag yet in this match. That is the bond status, of course. And a pause here would be good.
VP pause, I can imagine, just gonna throw that real wild guess out there at 0 to 8. And we actually discussed this before. Neo AWPing on this map was a weird one. We thought it was kind of like a, I'll give it a go sort of thing. You know, they were down quite badly again last time we were watching this, and then he gave it a crack.
It's a little bit like the mouseboard situation at the moment, actually. You know, where you don't really know if it's always going to be Oscar. I find Oscar plays more of the T-sided AWP now than Chris J, if I'm not mistaken. But we've seen Snacks with it. We've seen Pasha have it.
I'm not opposed to it at all. Yeah, don't get me wrong. I still think Neo is, you know, a god-tier player. I'll never dispute that. That's just dumb to even consider that. But I don't know if I'd put him above the other AWPers right now on this map. I just haven't seen him deliver yet.
Sure.
That's the one thing. I want to see just that little bit of proof to show, like, all right, he's got something going on here. Just not seen it into play at the moment. And on the other side, Yugi's having a nice little game there for himself. Not exactly, you know, huge moments. He had some nice shots, you know, of course, but not like crazy impact just yet.
No, and plenty of it's been without AWPs as well.
Yeah.
He's been rifling quite nicely.
I think the overall thing to take away from this, at least in my eyes, in what's just so impressive with Heroic, is just how well-rounded they look to this map. They have so many set pieces. They have nice variations on it. They have that switch up of pace. They seem just to have this really good read into how they want to play it out, and it's Snappy at the helm.
It's interesting that you have a map like this where you commit 4 smokes at the start of the round for no other purpose than for misdirection. And then you still have sufficient utility, especially if you're buying up, you know, the whole brace of it, to do things obviously on either of these sites. They're less smoke intensive. It's not quite like overpass, for example. You know, people try to pressure that A site. You definitely need a few smokes to sort of cordon that one off. But here, not so necessary. Maybe it is, but still teams still value the ability to keep their competitors confused and prevent them from really seeing what's going on the outside part of the map. 8 rounds, though, on the T side is very, very good from Heroic. Definitely one of the earlier proponents of this map, Lauren, when it started to come back into fashion, especially when Heroic started to form, you know, in previous permutations. It's not quite the same, of course, now with these additions, but still, 8 rounds to the good, damn good start. And
you just think, what would happen if Heroic's map pool got to the point where they're as proficient on other maps as they are on this one? That's the big scary factor, isn't it? But Bialy gonna make light work of Yugi there. Maybe getting a little ahead of himself. Maybe VP starting to, you know, get a little bit pumped up by this, get a little bit of momentum behind them because they need something to work for them. As Neo's been forced already off the angle. Rampar's completely taken over, but how many players do they have down? They don't have anyone yet. They're just getting down to the vents now for VP, so the bomb's gonna be planted quite comfortably. I don't think anyone's gonna be able to challenge anytime soon, and it's retake time already for VP.
Bialy doesn't know where the bomb is at the moment as well. He can't really suspect that it's just on the other side of the door. He's gonna bang it out, though. That's a foul, should I say, just to get a bit more information. Door open, C snappy. Not enough for him to make the shot, but Bialy there with his second of the round. First, of course, was when he met Yugi trying to press forward into Squeaky.
And that little hole in the door actually plays well for the bomb plant. That's I can imagine why it's there now. It does actually backfire, but Nico's position is so unnoted. He's got 3 players to find. He tries to work his way into it, but the defuse will be picked up. There was a kit as well on Taz. And even though it was close, that's handled in the end. But you got to feel if maybe something worked out a little differently then towards Nico at the end of it, it could have been different. But finally, VP get one on the board, something they feel they've been lacking a long time in the making. But it's also a chance for a reset. Heroic could just, you know, completely crush that spirit.
That would be the literal nightmare for Virtus.pro right now. Fortunately enough, it was a costly round for them to lose 3, but they brought a couple of guns into the next round and they've been able to spread them comfortably enough here so that there's no real discrepancy. Let's see what that play from Bialy actually was. Quite aggressive in towards Annex, or at least for you may be a little bit further forward than we expect him to be. Now Nico's actually going to make use of this outside play, but Snacks is going to be here to meet him this time. It doesn't matter. Nico finds the head first. A lot of smoke. Bialy not able to find the damage. Yuki might fall to that nade, though, right at his feet. Nicely done by Bialy. Well predicted indeed. 4v3 now. It's been a costly opening to the round for Virtus.pro, and for Heroic, it's been very comfortable trading to get access to these parts of the map.
They've been so good at getting here, and the hard fact is, and something you've got to always highlight with VP is that generally Snacks is such a good player at kind of, I guess, just being a nuisance and always making some sort of impact, but they just seem to be able to go, you know, forego him. Bialy's having a bit of a muted game too in that aspect, and of course Neo can't be ignored. But beyond that, right now it's retake time for Virtus.pro. Now they do have kits this time, they do have utility left over, so Heroic are going to be put to the challenge here, and all 3 players playing it very passively from Heroic. No one wants to take any sort of risks just yet. One touch towards the bomb. Spray comes in from Nico. Position now duly noted, but Valde takes the time to take the shot. He'll find Neo, but the bomb is being defused. Bialy! He tries to hold it, but Valde takes the chance that he was given at the start, swings out again, and takes out another bit of hope for VP, and there's the reset.
It's happened. Taz has got $1,400 here. That's devastating. That was so close to being a defuse there as well. Real butt clench moment, but it's not enough for VP there at all. Heroic are flying high. VP down to nothing but the pistols. That loss bonus, of course, completely and utterly reset their income. Now low, they're on the CT side. It's even harder to develop a robust economy as it is now. And Virtus.pro look like they want to stack the rafters area to start this round off. Maybe even aggression in towards lobby. We'll see if they want to do that. Or is it a drop-down vent? Stacks opens the door here, but Heroic playing this one so passively, and they know. It's so obvious to know what situation VP are in. It's 9-1, they just reset them. Maybe they can sit back and wait for these pistols to try and get in position.
I don't know what to say about VP anymore. It's all good and well to discuss the fact that, Heroic are good at this. There's very few other ways to look at it than just that. They are an incredibly diligent team on this map, and they can challenge the tier 1 teams on it no matter who they are. So nothing taken away from them, but you've got to look at VP and hope that there's more to them than this. You know, online VP, sure. You know, maybe just want a timeout playing too many things, but
such a bloody meme though. I mean, we've seen them perform really well online, even on this map recently. Yeah. Maybe the caliber of opposition wasn't the same, but I still have nightmare flashbacks to ESL 1 Cologne last year when they picked this against SK and just were not ready for that at all. That sort of put them out of the finals there. So I honestly don't think Virtus.pro are a top tier team on this particular map. You can take that win against NIP with a grain of salt, but you know, you've got a team like Heroic who clearly really have a really cerebral approach to this game. They have a real heuristic protocols in place, Lauren. Virtus.pro doesn't seem to have an answer.
No, and it's not the first time. It's not like we haven't seen them, in these same sort of predicaments again and again. I'm hoping that they find a response. I don't think it's in this game. It may be in the future. It may be down the line. Maybe it's a map pool readjustment. I don't know. Currently, you're sat at 1 to 10. You're on the CT side. You've had a rough time. Don't get me wrong. You didn't win out on the pistol. Lost the first gun round. You got reset after the one round that you did win. It is tough, but still, they've had some opportunities. But this looks like the faster piece again coming out from Heroic, showing their full hand, what they can play with here. The trades are so good. Bialy can't find any more. He runs out of bullets and opportunities to find the kills. And by this point, they've taken over the side. The volleys go up, and the CT side are forced out.
So quick, so fast. Virtus.pro, they didn't even have the capacity to deal with something with such a pace. I was hoping to find something through the smoke. Maybe visions of glory, past excellence, but no, it'd be Modi to shut him down. And Pasha, toast a marshmallow, think about his current situation and contemplate his fate now. Again, that lost bonus will be starting to build again, but Pasha would hate to throw this gun just into the fire. But it may be a matter of jumping into the fog here and trying to make some impact. There's no kit on him either. Virtus.pro have been found in these situations so often. The plants are coming very early in these rounds for Heroic, putting a lot of pressure on VP, especially the play towards outside. Heroic get 5 men on that bomb site before VP drop 1 man down. Then it's ridiculous, and it's almost like VP just not able to get a finger on the pulse of what Heroic are doing.
Yeah, and any other team going to DreamHack, which like, let's just make sure we don't give them Nuke. You know, you sit there and you're like, I think we're all right with that.
Okay, so when you've got Astratus saying that Heroic are the best Nuke team or the best Danish Nuke team, I mean, you can already infer that means a little bit more than just the best Danish Nuke team.
Yeah.
At the moment.
There are definite challenges out there, don't get me wrong, but these guys, this is something that people, that was worked out internally that they just feel is obvious thing. It's not quite as easily founded, but we're finding out how good and how well just fleshed out this entire T side is. And I don't think we're going to get too much of that CT side, if I'm honest. A bit of a shame so far. Neo, though, with the Deagle, going to at least do some damage. But by that point, Modi was well into position and not going to have much more of what he was selling. So Snacks and Pasha. Pasha being one of the only players who actually had a rifle at the start of this, but it's Snacks to get his name on the scoreboard, at least into this round. As Pasha just waits in the vents, not even broken out. He'd have to announce his presence before he could even get towards the site.
And for what purpose would any player drop down to the lower levels here? It's such a low percentage situation to take as a tier right now, and you don't need to go and kill him. For Heroic, it's all well and good to get guns out of his hands, but, I mean, VP's economy is still in such a fetal state. Pasha's held this weapon for 2 rounds. Might be able to catch Modi here. It's kind of late round play we've been seeing from, singleton players. That may well be it. Virtus.pro doing more damage to Heroic than they've done in most of their preceding rounds. But again, it's 12-1. And this is Virtus.pro looking to be that shell of their former selves, Lauren.
They can at least buy. This is the thing. At least, lost bonus gives you a little bit of something to play with, but it does still feel a little bit few and far between, and I don't think we've even seen the depth of what Heroic can do. These guys are running, and they're running this already so well.
And you can't fabricate a hype around this kind of performance either. What we are doing quietly here is just appreciating how polished Heroic's approach is to this T side. It's really quite a thing to behold.
I just wish we could see more of a resistance from Virtus.pro. Snappy already finding Snacks so swiftly. It's these sort of starts that are just going to break the back of VP. Neo, though, at least will find a trade out on this. There is another player out by Garage as well. This could be good. Bialy's there. Finally, VP are trading a little effectively, but now they know that Bialy's still in this position. He already got a kill from this sort of spot. They found one up by the rafters, but Pasha then supports. This is better than actually playing as a bit of a unit, but Bialy takes a fight against Modi, and that's a mistake, as it's left Pasha all alone. 3rd
round in a row, he's been in a 1vx scenario, Pasha. This time, though, might actually want to go for it. He does have himself a kit. The bomb hasn't been planted yet, so this is perhaps, characteristically different to a lot of Heroic's earlier rounds, where they've been, making these focused hits on bomb sites, less worried about contact play or, pushing outside with, multiple players, and more about getting the bomb down and actually getting into sort of post-plant positions. So time, at least, is on Virtus.pro's side, but Pasha knows that very different. If Pasha was a T-side player, he'd know that he'd probably get himself, a couple 1v1s. To split between 2 sites on this particular map, but here, shoes on the other foot. He knows he'll need to face probably what's going to be a crossfire, especially if he's not going to try and interfere or intervene while the bomb itself is actually being planted. That would be his best opportunity, really, because one player can't really watch that secondary angle, but sound's been made there, the vent gets banged in, and they know Pasha is waiting.
Wondering how well he was able to time that.
Oh, God.
Not so well. The molly's forcing him out. They're going to hear those tags coming through. I think one of them's at least close enough. Yeah, Modi was. He's definitely going to hear that he was in the vents. And now Pasha has to play back in. A little bit of an off angle up on the sinks, but Pasha adjusts perfectly. And now it's down to that 1v1. Now it's a bit of an unorthodox plant, so it's kind of given away that Yugi's there. But look at the time. You can hear it, the bomb's ticking, doors are gone, but oh, burning alive, Yugi forced out, and he still wins the fight. A disaster again. Strikes for Virtus.pro. And this scoreline is atrocious.
Damn, Yuki doesn't give a damn. I mean, he knows he has to play that way. I don't think he had a smoke that he could have just thrown down, and that doesn't really help him. It obscures his view of the bomb side. It completely gives himself away, yada, yada, yada. So he has to challenge that one, and he does. This could be a 14-round half from Heroic on the T side against Virtus.pro, who are considered to be one of the, I guess, the more natural Nuke aficionados here. Talk about online VP as much as you like. They've been yo-yoing like crazy. And Heroic, you've really got to give them credit to how they've laid out this T. So we've talked about it already. Let's just see how this now works in the last round of the half, Lauren.
I like a little bit of CT aggression. Now, I don't know if now's the time for it, but at least they're trying a little something. You've got some plays coming up towards, you know, going up from ramp, playing up towards radio. Kind of like it. Modi doesn't. Fair enough, Modi. Didn't expect another, did you? There you go. Pasha at least going to find a bit of something, and now he can try and clear out where they're going, but it's still, Heroic haven't given away much. They're not being too hap-handed with this. They're not just rushing in. There's still plans afoot. I wonder if they'd expect this much of a late play going through towards lobby.
Well, Heroic might be caught out here up on the rafters. It's Snacks managing to find one, not getting the second though. Nico responds with the shots pretty much straight down. That still leaves Heroic in a man advantage, but they haven't selected a bomb site quite yet. Pasha now playing reasonably up close here, inside the hut. Bialy in Annex, so decent control of upper. Limited information about the lower side of the rest of the map. That's why you can see Bialy now just moving out a little bit. Are they up on the rafters? Are they working around the outside? Is it a late push towards Secret? Information right now is at a limited amount for Virtus.pro. They can only surmise as to the position here for Heroic, but Pasha's hearing this. He's hearing Snappy come down. He may not know about the second player, and Snappy chances a jump across the gap there. Nuke playing it very dangerously there. Nico is found by Bialy, but it's quickly responded. Now Pasha again in a 1vx situation. Been called on to be the clutch man now, but Snappy, of course, is just going to make it easy to get down to the bomb site. So Molotov in towards the vents. Only a few seconds left. Pasha's like, well, don't really have a smoke, so I can't just have to go down and deal with this. He waits out the flames. Now, looks at the position of the bomb plant. It's an educated guess that Snappy's going to be waiting in this door. And how do you deal with it? Just go for it? You do. But once again, Pasha unsuccessful in turning around that clutch situation. And unfortunately, that's not even half of Virtus.pro's problems, Lauren. It's been a rough first half, 14-1 for the veterans. Not ideal, but Heroic are looking excellent on this particular map. Let's see, Lauren, how Nuke turns out. Let's see what happens if VP can get on the T side and maybe get things rolling or not. Either one could happen. We'll find out after the break. Righto, Dr. Pansy, give it to me straight. What's the prognosis here on VP? They haven't been looking very dominant at all in this first half.
No, it's not looking like a positive outcome at this point, is it? It's a little bit of a disaster. Heroic, if they just win the pistol, they're already sat on that point. They're already looking very good in this one. And maybe not such a pushover when it comes towards playoffs as well. Maybe going to take a couple of teams with them. We'll see what they can do now. Hopefully it's a clean close for them. You don't want to see VP suffering. As we see 5 decoys. It's a plan. It's a plan. Maybe not a good one, but it's something.
I'm not sure if they're trying to obscure something there. Or maybe, is this his rush towards lower? They're trying to obscure the footsteps
sound,
there?
It could be.
This is what Hellraisers do on Inferno, I think it is.
Yeah.
Either way, let's see if it works out. Yugi's going to be pushed by the entire... What is this round? VP all grouping up together out towards the outside of the map. All right. Clock train it is. When all else fails, try and go for it. It's going to be traded out. This is going to be a messy round. So far, Heroic are holding on. They're holding on to those crucial spots. Eventually, VP have to make a foray into the power station proper. But Neo has the bomb here. But he's not just going to drop down on towards the upper side and get a plant down. There are players there waiting for him. He needs to be a little bit less simplistic, perhaps, about this.
Yeah, Snacks is just going to try and be his scout, basically. They've got 50 more seconds here, so it's important for him to try and bait this one out, basically, try and allow Neo some room to work. And the problem is that Moddy's already here, so he's going to see that no one's actually pushed in. So they can just kind of sit there and be like, well, I don't need to rotate too much, do I? And how is Neo still alive? Nico made a little bit of a meal of the first one, but he made up with the second towards Snacks. And even though VP did try and pull a fake towards lower, they weren't having any of it because there was already a player down there watching the cross.
Probably to contextualize this scoreline, maybe for viewers that are not super familiar with either of these teams or what the Pro League's been like this season, this is very much an outlier of a result. We really do not see this score between any of the teams in this league whatsoever. This could be one of the biggest losses, in fact, of the entire EU season here. I'm willing to even bet on that one. Virtus.pro now had to bring it back. They've got to force pistols in this round. In fact, they've got to force for the rest of the damn game because it's match point for Heroic already after 16 rounds. And they're bought in for this one. Gugu with the scout, tags up Snacks pretty heavily. That's going to send him back with his tail between his legs. Maybe Neo can provide some moral support now as he might just make his way in towards Annex, and Valde just brutally eviscerates him. Cuts him down as he tries to make his way to the site. Valde traded out though. Neo at least there with the Deagle, but Snappy comes through, shots up towards Rafters. Easy as you like. 2 players left for VP. This is going to be over very quickly, Lauren. Pasha's gunned down, and that is an utter crushing victory for Heroic there. The Danes stand tall, and Virtus.pro nowhere to be seen, Lauren.
Hero just made him bite the pillow. That was a rough game.
Indeed it was.
What more do you say about that?
Well, not a whole lot, but we do have some people that we actually pay to say more about this. So we'll have to see if they have anything to mention. Let's head over to the desk with Moses and the lovely hairstyles of his fellow panelists.
Hard to believe I do get paid.
I don't know if we can exactly top bite the pillow. Something about a danger needle, perhaps.
Look, I'm just curious as to when Valve, I mean, if I'm iBuyPower right now, I gotta be sitting around going, what the hell is this? When is Valve gonna throw the hammer at these VP guys? Honestly.
Let's not be throwing those accusations
seriously,
out into the internet.
At what point does the best team in the world, quote unquote, Taz, get calling us out, own up to it? The fact of the matter is this is the most elaborate scheme ever. By being this inconsistent, they can throw games whenever they want and none of us suspect it. This is bullshit and it has to stop.
Well, they say if you give a man enough rope, right? I think that's what we just witnessed.
Yeah. Look, the scoreline, like, you would have a better chance convincing me that the world is flat than we would have just seen what happened there. But, you know, if we're going to highlight the positives that we saw from there, it was obviously all Heroic's way. What? Are you a flat earther? Here we go. Conspiracy theories.
Let's have some fun on this segment, boys, because there's no game to talk about.
No, I've highlighted this before.
Not even on the world.
I've highlighted this before. It'd be good if Rush had like a library of the clips that I've done, and he could like bring them up. But that's not possible right now.
No,
but we did highlight in the past the way that Heroic do that lower control. Right? They do those really. Yeah. They do the quicker outside smokes than most teams do. They're not really high and loopy or jump smokes. They're throwing quite quickly, and they get that thing quicker. They get secret quicker than most of the teams, and then they get back vent control, and then we see the Molotov off, I call it Megaton, and then they smoke, and then they get full control of the site, and they're so good at doing that. And there's protocols and stuff that you could probably have in play for that, but by the time, like, unless that's your instant response, your first gun is, hey, if we see these smokes, let's drop 2 players down vent, let's fight them, let's not give them control at all. If you let that start to like snowball, when you eventually make the gamble to go, that's when they fake you and go topside, and you're just like, whoa. Jeez Louise.
Jeez Louise.
Jeez Louise.
Jeez, please.
Yeah, well, why don't we do this? Since there wasn't really a whole lot to talk about, let's throw up what VP's remaining schedule is, because this is a team that's supposed to be contending. They're not that far out in the standings. I think they're like 10th or 11th, but like they're close in wins.
Those are all pretty high. So as I mentioned G2 earlier.
This is the one, this heroic matchup is the one out of the 4 of those that you would say is where they would pick up 2 wins to provide some kind of a cushion.
That's what they needed to have to make sure they, I guess, stayed out of relegation.
Oddly enough, that would therefore mean the odds would be the greatest and the return for the throw would be the highest. See? It's all there.
God bless, making a circle about this. Yeah, G2 has gained two spots. You can see VP down there in 11th. At the moment after that, Heroic has leapfrogged them. And I mean, they're not even out of the playoff race. I mean, in reality, I think it's only Kingwin who doesn't, I mean, even statistically, they're not eliminated
And even
yet,
still, there's probably some like ridiculous chance if they won all their remaining games.
Yeah, no, they could make it.
Just
like, did the math today. If they run all their remaining games, I think they, they must be playing right now.
No,
That's
they're
why
not. There's only an A stream this evening.
Okay, well, they have 17 games played. According to, I think they're actually 6-12, and they could win out the remaining 8 and put themselves in contention by getting 14 wins. But it's pretty hard.
Excellent. Well, Forrest Gump once said that's all there is to say about that. So we will be right back with the second map in the series.
Run, Forrest!